All right. Now, the other day, I remember I was talking about investment in biological assets. And I said that if there is an investment that is going to give you very good returns, even compared to money market funds, is investment in biological assets. And when we talk about investment in biological assets, we are talking about farming, right? Farming, you can do dairy farming, you can do pig farming, poultry farming, you can do sheep farming, you can also do onion farming, garlic farming, potatoes, tomatoes, and so much and so on. All those we call investment in biological assets, because these are assets that they have a certain value. When you sell them, you exchange them in cash. All right. But I told you, one of the best investment in biological assets is actually investing in sheep. Because why did I choose sheep? Because when you compare investing in poultry farming and investing in dairy farming and investing in sheep, you are going to find out that sheep is actually very convenient and is not going to interfere even with your normal program. Because when you look at poultry farming, it's going to be capital intensive, it's going to require a lot of attention, it's going to be require a lot of risk mitigating factors and so much, and of course with complicated structures, because here we are dealing with delicate creatures. All right. But when it comes to sheep, you just need simple structures, and it's not going to be capital intensive, and it's not going to require a lot of efforts when it comes to sheep farming. Again, I said when it comes to dairy farming, of course, that one again you need to do some risk mitigating, because cows can be very emotional and very sensitive to diseases. And of course, if you want maximum production when it comes to dairy farming, you will need to come up with new strategies on how you can do the same, just to ensure that you have maximum or increased output. All right. Now, I said, if, for example, at the beginning of 2025, and I'm talking about tomorrow is date 1, today is date 31st, all right? So tomorrow is date 1. So I'm talking about at the beginning of 2024, which is 2025, which is tomorrow, you have 100,000. You have 100,000. Now, if you decide to buy sheep, if you decide to buy sheep, 10 of them full grown, ready for reproduction, it's going to cost you 10k per. And if you buy 10, that one is a budget of 100k. All right. Assuming that you already have a shelter, and to shelter 10 sheep is not going to cost you much, just a simple structure. You can, by the way, it's very easy to raise these things. They don't need a lot of attention, and you just need a plain land where they can graze, and in the evening they just come back full. All right. So it's going to cost you around 100k. Remember, sheep can reproduce, or maybe they can give birth. They can give birth twice in a year. All right. They normally give birth twice in a year. And when they give birth twice in a year, what does that one tell you? If one will give you 2, what about 10? And of course, this 10 times 2 divided by 1, which is equals to 20. So at the end of the year, you will have 20 siblings. All right. You will have 20 siblings. Now, assuming that you're not even going to take 20, assuming that reproduce 1, just we take the minimum output out of this investment, we say that they just give birth once. And that one is just 10 kids. And if they give these 10 kids, probably they give birth at the middle of the year 2025. That is the mwezi wa sita, or June. So at the end of the year, that is December 2025, you can sell 1 kid times 6,000 or 5,000. But 5,000, I'm just taking the minimum. Those who are doing sheep farming, of course, a 6-month-old sheep, it's going to cost you almost 8,000 or 9,000, depending on how it has been fed and so on and so on. So let's just take the minimum of 5,000. This is equivalent to 50k. So the investment of 100k is promising us cash flows of 50,000 per year. But of course, we have taken the minimum. This one can even give you almost 100,000, almost double the profit. All right. So I'm just taking the minimum. So if it promises cash flows of 50,000 in 1 year. Now let's invest this 100,000 in 5 years and see whether this investment is worth it or not. Now if you decide to invest 50k, cash flows is equals to 50k. All right, now these are the cash flows. Now I want us to find out whether this investment is actually a good investment or not a good investment. We are going to find out that using net present value, and we say net present value is equals to PV of cash flows minus initial investment, and PV of cash flows is equals to this 50k you multiply by, or into brackets, 1 minus 1 plus r raised to power negative n all over r, minus now the initial investment of 100,000, and this one is going to be 50k into brackets 1 minus, now assuming that you are going to take a required rate of return of 15%, all right, just required rate of return of 15%, and this one is 1 plus 0.15 raised to power negative 5. We are investing this one for 5 years, all right, divided by 0.15 minus 100,000, all right. So this one is 50k, and then we multiply by, so this one is 1.15 raised to power negative 5, and then 1 minus that, and then divided by 0.15 multiply by 50k. So this one is 167, that's 167 607 or 608 minus 100,000. So NPV is equals to 67,608, which is positive. You can see we are getting a positive net present value, and this one tells you this one is a very good investment, just even far much better than money market fund. So if you are that kind of a person who like taking risks, why don't you think about investment in biological assets and just think about sheep? If you want to do poultry farming, then if you are ready to take much larger risk or maybe something like that, you can do it. But again, I was just confirming the investment and see how it is, but you can see it's a very good investment, as much better than compared to money market funds. All right, thank you so much guys for watching. This John Murray, professional accountant, and I'm glad that you're following. And for those who are asking questions, thank you so much. And if you have any question or any clarification, you can take my number from my bio, and then you can WhatsApp me and I'm going to get back to you. All right, thank you so much and have a nice time.